The private life of French President Emmanuel Macron has always been a subject of curiosity for the public, not only because of his position of power, but also because of the rumors surrounding his marriage to First Lady Brigitte Macron. There are many theories suggesting that Brigitte is actually a transgender person, that she was born with a different identity but underwent a transition to achieve her current appearance. Furthermore, another, even more shocking rumor claims that Emmanuel Macron is actually bisexual and his marriage is just a cover to hide an illicit relationship between him and Alexander Bennett, a former employee of the Élysée Palace. These rumors are not new, but have spread widely for many years, especially since Mr. Macron was elected president of France in 2017. On forums, personal blogs, and even YouTube channels dedicated to exposing the truth, the story of the French president and his wife has become an endless topic of discussion. Are these just political conspiracy theories created to discredit the leader of the Land of Wine? Or is there actually evidence suggesting these rumors are not entirely baseless? In today's video, we will delve deep into these allegations, investigate the origins of the rumors, and most importantly, discover the truth behind this controversial marriage. You are watching True Crime Stories 678, where we explore the most mysterious cases and the most thrilling stories together. And before we start decoding today's mysteries, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support us. Thank you all very much. Brigitte Macron, the wife of the French president, was born on April 13, 1953 in the city of Amiens in northern France. She is the youngest of 7 siblings from the Chauneos family, a wealthy dynasty famous in the local chocolate manufacturing industry. Coming from a prestigious family, Brigitte grew up in comfortable conditions, received a good education, and had an uneventful childhood. Amiens, her hometown, is an ancient city known for its characteristic European architecture, especially the Amiens Cathedral, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is also where Emmanuel Macron, the future president, was born and raised. Brigitte attended Catholic schools for girls before continuing her education in Paris, where she graduated from university and became a literature teacher and drama instructor. Notably, throughout her teaching career, Brigitte was highly regarded by many students and colleagues for her creative teaching style, open-mindedness, and enthusiasm for her students. Brigitte's younger years were relatively unremarkable until she married Henri-Louis Ayuria, a financial professional, and had 3 children. This marriage proceeded quietly for nearly 2 decades before she met Emmanuel Macron, the student who would completely change her life. In the early 1990s, at Providence High School, Emmanuel Macron was considered the top student in his class, not only smart, but also a good writer, poet, and talented actor. It was Brigitte who discovered and encouraged Macron's talent. This teacher frequently praised him, especially when the two participated in writing and rehearsing a play together. These work sessions became an opportunity for them to spend more time together. Writing brought us together. We wrote the script together, and gradually I was completely conquered by his intelligence, the French First Lady shared. Macron's family soon realized this relationship was not merely that of a teacher and student. Macron's mother even mistakenly thought her son was infatuated with Brigitte's daughter, but the reality was different from her assumption. When they realized the unusual situation, Macron's family immediately objected fiercely. Mrs. Françoise met with teacher Cornelius and said, "You don't understand. You already have your own life, but my son will have nothing with you." Mr. Jean-Michel Macron said he nearly fell out of his chair when they discovered their son's relationship with his teacher. They repeatedly contacted the principal and demanded intervention. When all measures failed, Macron's mother met directly with Brigitte, desperately pleaded, "Please leave my son alone. Let him focus on his studies until he is an adult." Brigitte's answer left everyone in disbelief. "I cannot promise anything." This story not only caused an uproar at the school, but also became the talk of the entire city of Amiens. No one could understand why a 40-year-old woman with a stable family could fall so passionately in love with a teenage student? For Mr. Henry Louis Iseret, Brigitte's husband, this was a massive shock. Faced with the spreading rumors and her wife's terrible attitude, he chose to leave the family, cut off contact, give up his career, and even left all his assets to his wife and children. As for Emmanuel Macron, after graduating from Providence, he moved to Paris to study at the prestigious Henry IV School. During all that time, Macron never gave up on his love. For over 15 years, Macron always promised, "We will meet again, and I will marry you." Finally, in 2006, when the marriage between Brigitte and her ex-husband officially ended, Macron returned and married Brigitte in the city of Le Pouquet. At that time, he was 30 years old, while she was 54, already a mother of 3, and the two also decided not to have children together. The youngest president in French history stated that besides the age difference, he had decided not to have children since he was young. He was already a father of 3 children and had 7 grandchildren from his wife's side. He felt he did not necessarily need to have biological children. When he decided to marry our mother, he came to meet us to inform us. That action was very powerful. Not everyone would do that. Emmanuel wanted to be sure that we, the stepchildren of his soon-to-be wife, would accept it, Tiffany Agia, Behegric's eldest daughter, shared with the public. This marriage became one of the most controversial love stories in France, while also inspiring many stories about love overcoming all barriers. But precisely because of the significant difference between them, countless conspiracy theories began to emerge. Among them is the most shocking rumor that Behegric Macron is actually a transgender person. The rumor about the French president's wife being transgender began to surface in late 2021, starting with an article in the magazine Fast Education, Fait et Documents, a French publication specializing in conspiracy theories. Ritasha Ray claimed to have investigated for 3 years and discovered anomalies in Behegric Macron's personal records. According to Ritasha Ray, there are no documents proving the First Lady of France actually existed as a child. At the same time, this journalist also confirmed that in the family tree of the Charles Nails family, there is no precise information about Behegric. This raised suspicions that the president's wife is actually Jean-Michel Charles Nails, a man who mysteriously disappeared in the late 1970s. This story quickly spread on social media, especially on Twitter and YouTube. Conspiracy theorists even manufactured a series of proofs to support their arguments, including comparing old photos, analyzing Behegric's voice and gestures, and even questioning the parentage of her 3 children. Faced with the spread of the rumor, Behegric Macron decided not to remain silent, and in December 2021, she officially filed a lawsuit against the individuals and organizations that had spread false information about her gender. The lawsuit targeted those who spread and abetted this conspiracy theory, including journalist Natasha Ray, and the social media sites that amplified this baseless story. According to lawyers, these allegations not only damage the First Lady's honor, but also affect the reputation of the entire Macron family. Notably, this false information could be part of a political smear campaign aimed at undermining President Emmanuel Macron's credibility during elections. After being sued, Natasha Ray gave an interview lasting over 4 hours with a YouTuber in which she continued to defend her arguments. However, there was no concrete evidence to substantiate the information this journalist presented. Nonetheless, the rumor about Barges Macron continued to spread, especially within communities, in the government, among the far right, and among those who believe in conspiracy theories. However, this theory gained more traction when the French First Lady failed in this lawsuit. According to the channel RT, a judge in Paris dismissed Barges Macron's lawsuit against 2 women who claimed in a YouTube show that the French First Lady was actually her transgender brother. The judge ruled that the wife of President Emmanuel Macron had sued based on charges of public defamation rather than for invasion of privacy and image rights violations. Although the reason Mrs. Barges failed was due to suing on the wrong grounds, the public became even more convinced that the circulating theories were completely true. Faced with rumors about his wife's gender, Mr. Macron expressed extreme anger. The worst thing is false information and fabricated stories. People just believe what they want to believe and bother you, even about the most private issues. This incident once again shows the severity of misinformation on social media, especially concerning famous figures or those with political status. This is not the first time politicians and their spouses have become targets of baseless accusations. Parallel to the rumor that the First Lady is transgender, the French president also faced suspicion that he is actually bisexual, or even has romantic relationships with multiple same-sex individuals during his political career. Although there has never been any concrete evidence, these rumors have simmered for many years, especially since he took power in 2017. Specifically, during the presidential campaign, some political opponents implied that Macron had a romantic relationship with Alexander Benalla, a former security officer at the Élysée Palace. Benalla was once Macron's high-level bodyguard and had an especially close relationship with the president. What is noteworthy is that Benalla was not an ordinary security officer. He was favored by Macron to the extent of being given access to important areas in the presidential office and was even allowed to use official vehicles and a diplomatic passport while living in a luxury apartment near the Eiffel Tower. Even after Alexander Benalla physically assaulted several protesters, the French president still allowed him to maintain his position as a bodyguard and deputy chief of staff at the Élysée Palace and did not notify the police as required by criminal law. Not only that, many French newspapers also claimed Benalla was given the nuclear codes by the French president. The French media cited that during Benalla's time working at the Élysée Palace, the two were almost never apart. They were so close that Benalla went skiing with the president in the Pyrenees Mountains and biked along the beach near Macron's resort in Le Touquet. According to The Telegraph, Emmanuel Macron stated during a hearing on July 26, 2018, "Alexander Benalla never had the nuclear codes, and he is not my lover." Faced with the spreading rumors, the president's office had the decision to fire him. Benalla was also arrested on charges of assault and impersonating a police officer. Separately, some newspapers also claimed Macron had a similar relationship with Mathieu Gallet, the former CEO of Radio France. At that time, Gallet was an influential figure in the media world and was believed to receive special favor from Macron. In 2018, Mr. Gallet was suddenly fired from Radio France after being convicted of corruption. However, Frédéric Mitterrand, the former Minister of Culture, claimed that this dismissal was actually intended to quash the rumors of an affair between French President Emmanuel Macron and Mr. Gallet to appease public opinion. The rumors surrounding the youngest president in French history became even more credible when the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games became the focus of fierce controversy, not only because the performances were considered tacky and offensive to religion. Many rumors suggested this performance was approved because their president is gay and that he had shown his fondness for the performance during the rehearsal. These factors further convinced the public that the French president is actually bisexual, and his marriage to Bihajek is just a perfect cover to protect his image. Facing these rumors, Macron responded publicly, "If I were gay, I would say so. I have never hidden anything about myself. But if someone says I have a relationship with Mathieu Gallet, that is simply not true." In contrast to the president, Mr. Gallet remained mostly silent on the issue and only declared himself a victim of an underlying political conspiracy to overthrow him. Even so, the French president's strong reaction to the rumors could not extinguish the suspicions. The public is always obsessed with the private lives of powerful figures, especially influential politicians like Emmanuel Macron. In the history of the French political stage, there is no shortage of strategic marriages, where politicians marry not just for love, but also to protect their personal image, hide their private lives, or simply consolidate their political position. The fact that the French president chose to marry a woman 24 years his senior, waiting for her for 15 years, a rare story among political couples, only raises more doubts. People wonder if this is a true love story, a rare bond between two kindred spirits, or just a perfect cover, a camouflage created to appease speculation about Macron's true sexuality. Although the speculations have never been proven, in the world of politics, the public truth is sometimes completely different from the real truth. This president's marriage, whether it is a destined love affair or a carefully calculated strategy, will remain a topic of discussion for years to come, and perhaps only those involved truly know the answer. Thank you for watching today's video. Is the love story between the most powerful man in France and this special woman really a real-life fairy tale? How do the rumors surrounding their private lives make you feel? Is it the truth or just political maneuvering from the opposition to manipulate public opinion? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next fascinating videos on True Crime Stories 678. For now, goodbye and see you again.